All right, we want to welcome everybody to the Happy Entrepreneur Show. This is a super duper incredible special edition that we're having this evening or this morning or whatever time it is, wherever you're tuning in. It's one of those situations where we got started today, and believe it or not, we had what's called technical difficulties. Now, don't worry about it because we're going to be talking about how to attract clients that can pay you now. But when you have technical difficulties, what do you have to do in your business when you have technical difficulties? Anybody know? Well, I'll tell you what you have to do. You have to do what's called improvise. And so that's what we're going to do this morning, this evening, this afternoon. You're in for a treat. Don't worry. You're in for a blessing. Don't worry. But just know one of the things that means is that we are going to improvise. And so I'm going to get started and I'm going to teach part 2. And though this will be for entrepreneurs, it'll be for business owners, but I'm going to be talking about and showing how to attract clients that can afford your services now. That's something that we're going to be doing. I'm looking to start something right now. Let me see. Let me double check 2 things. So I'm doing this right now. There we go. That should start that up there. And then I'm going to kick this thing off. Show. This is a super duper. Show you what we're going to be talking about. Let me make sure. We'll be talking about, now, did y'all get it up? Great. We'll be talking about this morning, this evening, this afternoon, how to attract unlimited paying clients directly to your business. Now, don't worry. Cosette White and Karen, we have rescheduled them and they will be back with us and back in stride again. I'll say it like that. But this evening, you get yours truly. So I'm looking forward to this very personal, this very private conversation that you and I get to have this morning, this evening, this afternoon, whatever time it is for you, wherever you are in the world. All right. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just double check one thing just to make sure that I can be heard and seen. So give me 10 seconds here. I'm going to make sure I can be heard and seen. For those folks that are tuning in right below, Samantha, let me know you can hear me. Thanks so much for tuning in. I appreciate that. Jacqueline, thank you so much for tuning in. It was a pleasure speaking with you. Kevin, what's going on, my man? He's in the house and we are now live. This is really cool. So here's what I want you to do. Get your paper, get your pen out, Nicole, and we're going to go into part 2 on how to attract unlimited paying clients. And I want you just to imagine for a moment what that would mean in your business if you had as many qualified people who had an interest, want, or desire in your business. And for those folks that are just tuning in for the very first time, by the way, I always like to start by saying it's a great day. My name, by the way, is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome to this special edition on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. Yes, indeed, we had some technical difficulties earlier, and that happens. But what do? The show goes on, and we're going to provide tremendous value to you, and I'm looking forward to it. Here's the first golden nugget I want you to have in your notes. It's called the law of the universe. And the law of the universe says nothing happens until something moves. So if that's the law of the universe, the next question is, what is the law of business, right? And the law of business is nothing happens until someone sells something. So this conversation that we're going to be having this evening, this morning, this afternoon is all about being able to grow your business. One of the beliefs we have at the Happy Entrepreneur Show is that the results that show up in your life are just as important as the results that show up in your bank account. So as you're tuning in, Ann Brown, as you're tuning in, Carolyn, as you're tuning in, Michael, look below the video and just write ching ching because this is part 2. Again, don't worry. Dr. Cosette M. White and Karen M. Cherry says, pass along technical difficulties. Don't worry, they'll be back. Let's go over to your business and let's look at what Jim Rohn says. And Jim Rohn says to succeed in sales, you simply talk to a lot of people. In today's time, it would be use social media, use videos, talk to a lot of people every day, and the magic happens all by itself. And isn't that so true? Isn't that so important? So let me start off before I give you the number 1 lead generation idea that I've ever learned that's helped me in my business over the years. Let me share with you at first the 3 laws of prospecting, and then I'm going to break down and share with you my number 1 lead generation idea. Now, this is going to be a money conversation. This is not a conversation for everyone, but even if you're not an entrepreneur, you will be able to benefit. So someone look over there and say the law of prospecting. Go ahead and put that down in your notes right now. The 3 P's, the law of prospecting. And the 3 P's really boil down to 3 things. Jot these things down in your notes right now because I'm really excited. I love having money conversations. I love having money conversations. And for those folks that are texting me saying, where is Karen Cherry? Technical difficulties. Actually, our internet went down. I know. Karen's probably watching right now. Don't worry. We'll have her back. Okay, so I said the 3 P's. Let's first talk about the universal law of need. The universal law of need says the more you need something, the less likely it is that you will get it. Desperation magnifies and accelerates failure. You are most likely to get what you focus your thoughts on. When you are desperate, you focus on what will happen if you don't get what you need, thereby attracting failure. Prospects and customers naturally are repelled by folks who seem like they're desperate for some business. They seem like they're trying to find someone who's qualified. That's the universal law of need. Now, we're going to make sure that you don't reach that point, but I want you to have that as one of the 3 laws of prospecting. And then I want to share my number 1 idea. Secondly, do me a favor for those folks that are tuning in. Share your number 1 lead generation idea. This is all about attracting clients who can afford to pay for you. Let me share the next one that I love, which is the 30-day rule. Now, this is very important because the 30-day rule simply states the prospecting you do in this 30-day period will pay off the next 90 days. Let me say this again. Let me say that again. The 30-day rule, Maisha, the 30-day rule, Darlene, the 30-day rule, Victoria. The prospecting you do in this 30-day period will pay off for the next 90 days. So I was having a conversation with someone and they were sharing with me that they're really trying to grow their revenue. And so I asked the question, this was just this month. And I said, what is your number 1 prospecting strategy? And they couldn't answer. And then I asked the question, I said, are you prospecting with a purpose right now? Because it's a 30-day window. And whatever you do during this 30-day window will directly reflect the results that you're going to get over the next 90 days. Now, the person looked at me and like I had 2 heads on. And I said, I realize you're trying to grow the business, but if you don't have a strategy to generate and track leads and you don't have a strategy to do that, then you're going to find yourself in a revenue drought. Jot that down in your notes. And a revenue drought, 99% of sales slumps can be directly linked to the failure to prospect. 99%. So right now, if your business is stagnant or your business isn't growing, I'm giving you the 30-day rule right now, then it all comes down to how are we attracting people who can use our products or services, who have an interest, want, and a need to directly work with us now. The 30-day rule. So let me give it to you again. I want to show it to you one more time. And I want you to think about what are your activities over the next 30 days coming up. What's up, Velton Shaw? Don't worry, Karen Cherry has some technical issues. Dr. Cazette White has some technical issues. So you have yours, Shay Brown, yours truly here this evening or this morning talking about a subject because the show goes on. The 30-day rule says the prospecting that you do today will pay off in the next 30 days. So over the next 90 days, take a look at your calendar right now. Just do me a favor. Look at your calendar, like open it up and look down. What is your number 1 prospecting strategy? And then what does your calendar look like over the next 30 days to generate and attract people who have an interest, want, or need? I hadn't even gotten into my number 1 idea. I'm going to share my number 1 idea in a moment. But first, I just wanted to step back and make sure that I at least give you the 3 laws of prospecting. That's what I'm working on now, the 3 laws of prospecting as quickly as I possibly can. And I'm doing that. What's up, Tina Hines? Good to see you. Monica, it's a pleasure. And I said 1 was the universal law of need. So we're not going to put ourselves in a desperation perspective. And then I said the second law of prospecting is the 30-day rule. So what you do over the next 30 days is reflected in your results over the next 90 days. And so if we don't get started now, like right now, there's going to be a revenue drought. And there's only one way to grow the business, and that is to make more sales. Someone jot this down in your notes. It's not all about the money, but I'm having a sales conversation. Jot this in your notes. Sales will solve any business problem. You got a problem right now and you need to build a new website. Sales will allow you to hire the team. You've got a problem right now and you need to run Facebook ads. Sales will solve that business problem. You've got a challenge right now. You need to hire a coach or a consulting firm, or you need to go to a training camp, or you need a new certification. Sales will solve any business problem. So we're going to have a conversation right now just around how to attract people to you. I'm going to share my number one lead generation idea in just a moment. But I first want to go over the 30-day rule, because I want you looking at the next 30 days. And if you're like, Shay, I need to jumpstart right now. Shay, I need to get going. Shay, my next 30 days, I wasn't even thinking about the next 30 days. Now, if you weren't thinking about the next 30 days, because you're not associated to the philosophy that I talk about, which is, you know what I'm about to say, how you're going to have your 12-week year. You know I'm going to say that systems beat goals every time. Jot that down in your notes. Systems beat goals every single time. So if you have a revenue goal that you want to get to in your business, if there's no system infrastructure in place that's repeatable, duplicatable, I'm not saying you're not going to get there. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that the hill is going to be a lot steeper to climb. And I just want to help some of you over the next 30 days. Now, Karen Cherry and Dr. Kazette White had challenges this evening. So I decided I'm going to jump in. And so here's what I'm going to do. For those folks that are watching right now, I'm going to give you my number one idea coming up in a second. And you're like, Shay, I just got to get ready over the next 30 days. They can't see anything. Shay, I got to get ready over the next 30 days. Shay, the next 30 days, I don't have a 30-day plan. And so my 30-day rule, I'm in trouble 90 days from now. Text the word sales makeover. It's not going to cost you a dime. There's no opt-in needed. Get the notes, get my number one idea, and I'll do a one-on-one revenue momentum session. It's about, you got to get the revenue going. You got to get the revenue going. You got to get the revenue going. I'm going to do that for you. That's my gift to you. What's up, Teresa? Raya? What's up, Pony? What's up, Robert? Yeah, I'm the substitute teacher today. Karen Cherry and Kazette M. White had challenges getting on. Technical difficulties. One, their internet went down, and the other, their computer crashed. I know. But don't worry, we're going to still put money in your pocket. So text the word sales makeover right now. This is my gift to you. Include your first name, include your last name, include your best contact number. So when you text that number, you're going to get the details. And my promise to you, here's my promise to you, is that we're going to help you right now for where you are, for where you have to get to. All right, let's give number 3, and then let's give my number one idea, and let's give them 10 of the best ideas we have. No, seriously, no. Let's back up. Let me give them the law of replacement, and then I'm going to give them my number one idea, and then we'll give them the 10 best prospecting ideas I've ever heard. Yeah, because if we do it that way, it just makes it so much easier. Yeah, man, let's have some fun. We might as well have some fun. I love having fun. Okay, the law of replacement. The law of replacement says this. Jot this in your notes. This is important. What's up, Jay Hunter? Margaret Hughes, it's always a pleasure, man. You guys are rocking and rolling. Jacqueline Fulton, thanks for joining. We took care of you. Love you. You're a wonderful person. All right, the law of replacement. You must constantly put new prospects into your pipeline to replace those that naturally fall out. Replacement must be at a rate that matches or exceeds your closing ratio. The law of replacement. I had a conversation last month with someone, and they closed one of the biggest deals ever. And so the question I asked them was this: what are we going to do to have a system in place to generate that type of revenue when that agreement comes to an end? Because there is an end point. And this what deal would disrupt the entire company. And I've been there before, where I've got one $25,000, another $25,000 deal. I got 3 or 4 of those in a month. And it kind of disrupts the company. Yeah, it's $100,000 in revenue. I get it. But then you've got to make sure the resources are up to par, and you still got to service the other side. And let me tell you, I've been in that situation. It wasn't pretty. And I wasn't thinking about the law of replacement. I was thinking about servicing. And that's possible. And that's a good place for some people to be. And I get it. For some people, they're like, Shay, if I have that problem, I'll take that problem any day of the week. And that might be true. But for others out there, you're like, nah, Shay, nope. I'm not going to find myself in that situation. The law of replacement. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my number one lead generation idea. And this one idea has put more leads into my database with less effort over the last 15 years. So if you were to go up to someone and they have been in business and you said, what's your number one lead generation idea? In fact, let's just play a little game. For everyone watching right now, look below the video and I want you to type your number one lead generation idea. No, seriously, we're going to share it because there's enough business for all of us. And I'm asking you to participate, not for me, but because I want you to pay this message forward. I want you to help someone else. So look right below the video. If you're listening to the podcast, you can't do it. And you're hearing my voice and not Karen Cherry's or Dr. Kazette White. I'm not going to keep saying that, but I know some of you were looking for them. You're texting me now. I get it. But don't worry. I'm focused. I'm here present. And for the rest of this program, it's just you and I focused on growing your business and attracting people to you who could do business with you and they have an interest. So what's your number one lead generation idea? Look right below the video and write down your number one lead generation idea. And now I'm going to share with you my number one idea. And when you're talking to a consultant, you're talking to a trainer, you're talking to a digital marketer, you're talking to whomever. The one question I want you to ask, because powerful people ask powerful questions and they understand that systems beat goals every time. I want you to ask, what's your number one lead generation system? And if you walk away with just that one idea and you implement the 30-day rule and you understand the law of replacement, my promise to you is that you will have hope. Jot this in your notes before I give you the one idea. Jot this in your notes. This is very important. Here it is. Leads represent hope. That's a mindset. That's a belief system. Leads represent hope. No leads, no hope. Shay, I need to earn $20,000 a month in my business in order for me to be successful. Leads represent hope. No leads, no hope. Shay, I'm ready for a breakthrough. This is my time. This is my year. I'm going to give it everything I got. Leads represent hope. No leads, no hope. So let me share my number one lead generation idea. Let me break that thing down for you, and then I'll give you my 10 best ideas right now. My number one lead generation idea is called the POI strategy. Go ahead and jot that down in your notes. POI strategy. This is something that was taught to me by my mentor 15 years ago. It was relevant then, it's relevant today, and it's how I met many of you. It's called POI strategy. Now, you've heard that a picture is worth 1,000 words. So in your notes, draw a triangle, and at the top of the triangle, write POI. And POI stands for person of influence. So everyone you know has a network, but not everyone is a person of influence. What makes them a person of influence is they have your customers inside of their network. So at the bottom of the triangle, write down customers. Write down customers. Now follow me now. You want to generate lead. You understand that leads represent hope, and you need hope to hit your revenue goals. You need hope to grow the business. You need hope so that you can serve people and be able to generate cash flow. Then you pay attention. So in the middle of the triangle, I want you to put a question mark. And when you write that question mark, right to the right-hand side, there's a little box I want you to draw. And when you draw that little box, write this question in that box. Who has my customer? And this is something you can ask yourself every day. You can post it on your wall. Who has my customer? When you wake up in the morning and you're writing in your journal, who has my customer? When you're looking through Facebook and deciding should you go to an event or not go to an event, who has my customer? Who is someone that I can influence one time and I get direct access to their network? So a POI is someone who has my customer. Now, you talk about how do you do this real time? How does this work real time? What's up, My good frat brother, Craig Talley. Thanks for joining, my man. Latrice Hamilton, welcome aboard. But how do you do that? How do you do that? Okay. Let's just imagine for a moment how we do it in the business, and then we'll talk about a corporate level. You think about a corporate level, you think about Starbucks. And when Starbucks first got started, did the world need another coffee shop? Right. The answer is no. The world did not need another coffee shop. Not another $5 coffee at that time. Wasn't needed. But that wasn't the question that Starbucks asked themselves. The question that Starbucks asked themselves, sitting around a table just like this with other folks, is the question was asked, who has my customer? Who was someone we can influence one time, get access to them, and we can get to the network? And someone said Barnes and Noble. So what does Starbucks do? Starbucks goes out, they influence 583 Barnes and Nobles. They get in Barnes and Nobles all across the country. And you walk into a Barnes & Noble, there's a POI. And then someone else says, wait, ooh. Like Horseshack. Y'all might not know about Horseshack. That was Welcome Back, Kotter. If you know about Welcome Back, Kotter, type Welcome Back, Kotter. But anyway, someone else says, I know who has our customers. And someone said, who? Tell us. Someone said airports. When you walk into an airport today, what do you see? A Barnes & Noble. And then someone else says, wait. Who else has our customer? They played the game. Someone said grocery stores. You go into a Safeway on the East Coast. You go into a Whole Foods on the East Coast. You go into a Target on the East Coast. And what do you see? A Starbucks. And that's on a global level. That's a Fortune 500 company. So how do we do it at a local level? Well, I'll mention someone who's not on this show right now because he had technical difficulties, Karen Cherry. So I go to Success Women's Conference, the largest women's conference in the state of Mississippi. And I go there for that business conference. I influence the committee one time, Karen Cherry, Dorothy Williams, Tiffany Daniels. I influence them and I get access to the entire network. Some of you, I met you that way. I got access to a podcast. I got access to speak on a stage. I got access to a webinar. And then that gave me access to the entire network. So the question I ask myself every day is, who has my customer? Shay, that sounds great, but how does that help me? How does that help me? Here's what I want you to do. I'm going to help someone identify POIs right now in this present moment. I want you to look right below the video, and I want you to write a good POI for me is. A good person of influence. Maybe it's an organization. Maybe it's an individual inside the organization. Maybe for you listening right now, maybe a good POI for you are women organizations. I don't know. But as you write a good POI for me is, then I'm going to help you right now generate POIs. And all of you can listen. I'm going to share an idea. Doesn't cost you any money. But I know the number one challenge facing small business owners, entrepreneurs every day is there's not enough qualified people that I'm speaking to, Shay. And I'm wasting too much time talking to these other people. And I don't want to waste that time. And so as you're writing, who has my customer, I want you to write a good POI for me is ... A good POI for me is ... Go ahead and jot that down right now. A good POI for me is. And as you write that down, when we come back in less than 2 minutes, I'm going to help you right now identify 25 qualified POIs, give you my 10 best ideas, and then we're going to call it evening. But I'm going to first go over to Shaun Harper, ex-NFL player, wonderful person I've had the pleasure of working with, and he talks about the law of capacity. And this is very important for generating leads. Shaun, my man in Ohio, take it away.
Hi, my name is Shaun Harper, motivational speaker, author, investor. I love investing in people because people has the potential of generating years of dividends. This is my January 1st. And as I'm moving in January 1st, I have to be mindful of the laws, the law of capacity. Now, if you know me, I break all the rules, but I never break laws. If you break laws, laws will break you. Laws are unchangeable. So the law of capacity is that you will grow in proportion to your environment. It reminds me of a story of a guy named Walt Disney. We all know Walt Disney, but Walt Disney started out after a couple failed ventures. He started out with Disneyland, south of Anaheim, California. And he had great success, but he had one challenge. He was landlocked. And so he couldn't expand. And so he secretly, anonymously, began to buy up land in the Orlando area. And he formed shell companies, and he brought 500 acres here, 100 acres here with this company, and maybe 2,000 acres with this company. And he went on, and a investigative journalist caught on to it, but not until he amassed over 26 to 30,000 acres. And now that man, who is now deceased, still has land that's not been developed. His dream was huge, but his capacity was small. One of the problems or challenges that we face as entrepreneurs, as business owners, business leaders, is that we run out of capacity. When there's stress in the business, when there's stress as an entrepreneur, it's usually one or two problems. A, you don't have the systems, or B, you have a lack of capacity. That is a spiritual law. And I often compare spiritual laws, or look for evidence of spiritual laws in nature. You take a shark, put it in the fish tank, it gets this big. Take that same baby shark, put it in the ocean, it gets this big. Before you dream, or right after you dream, the first thing you do is you begin to build your capacity. Before you build up, you gotta build down. Thank you. Play to win. Bye-bye.
The law of capacity. So we're talking here about, in this session, how to attract clients who can afford you. And we're talking about the strategy of POI. We're talking about a POI strategy. And the POI strategy is a person of influence. And a person of influence has your customers inside their network. So now everybody's a POI, but if they have your customers inside their network, they're a POI. You don't try to sell a POI, you go to a POI to influence them to get access. And so then we ask the question every single day, the big question mark in the middle is, who has our customer? Who is somebody we influence one time, and we get direct access to their network. So someone right below, I was saying, who is a good customer for you? And someone said, probate attorneys. So let's imagine that you and I were together, you had enrolled, you stroked your check, and you got a revenue goal. And I asked the question, who's a good POI for you? You look over at me and say, share a good POI for me. The person, not gonna mention their name, said probate attorneys. And so I asked the question, how many probate attorneys do you have today in your database? And you say, not enough. Just like some of you said you work with women's groups, or some of you said you work with realtors, or some of you said you work with website designers, and whoever a good POI is for you. You said not enough. And so then in that very moment, we then go to get POIs. This is how we would do it. Everyone can follow along. This is the POI strategy. I want you to go to Google. It's free. If it's free, it's always for me. It's always for me. And so once you go to Google, you're going to type in probate attorneys. Now, once you type in the word probate attorneys into your computer, once you do that, you're going to get a list of probate attorneys, and you might do within a 90-mile radius. Now, maybe you work with probate attorneys all over the country, but let's say within a 90-mile radius. Now you have the first name, the last name, the phone number, and the email of all of the probate attorneys within the 90-mile radius. We now have leads, which means we have hope. Now we've got to have a sales logical argument on how we're going to approach them. I get it. We have to have powerful language on why they should work with us. I get it. We got to explain the benefits of us partnering together and why it's a great collaboration. I get it. But at a minimum, we know, just like Starbucks knew about Barnes & Noble, just like Starbucks knew about airports, just like Starbucks knew about grocery stores, that your customers are there every single day. And now you have access to the customers. We work with a client as part of their virtual sales team. So we were their virtual sales team. And they wanted to have more speaking opportunities. And then the question came up, well, you don't have any today? No. I said, well, let's look at colleges and universities. That's what they want to work with. And let's Google them. Let's get the first name, last name, and email of contacts there. Let's reach out to them. Let's call them. Let's do a Facebook message. Let's do social media. Let's contact them, and let's find the decision makers. The person started with 197. Boiled it down less than 72 hours later, and we had 40 decision makers that are looking for proposals for this person to train faculty and students on how to deal with relationships on campus. So they went from having no hope to having hope. Leads represent hope. So I want you in your notes, I want you to write this down. The average person whose revenue goes up and then goes down and then goes up and goes down and stays down more than it is up. The average person, when it comes to POIs, without this philosophy I'm about to tell you in a minute, they work with maybe one or two people they're trying to influence. I promise you, go talk to any of your clients, talk to your colleagues and say, how many people are you working with you're trying to influence like right now, like actively really trying to influence? And maybe it's 1, 2. Surprised if it's 3. But sales millionaires, the folks who earn over $1 million in revenue, in the top 1% of revenue in this country, sales millionaires implement the POI strategy, and they work with at least 25 to 35, 30 to 35 POIs every month. 30 to 35 POIs every month. Every day they focus on one POI, either follow up, a contact, social media, however you want to look at it. Now, if those folks are out there like the one and only Tony Moore, who's the baddest attorney on the planet, you should contact Tony Moore. And I don't know if she does probate, Nijija, but you can talk to her about that. She works with financial planners. She works with business coaches, brand managers, and accountants. So let's say she said, I work with accountants because they have my customer. You could go to Google. It's free. If it's free, it's always for me. You can type in accountants or bookkeepers within a 90-mile radius. Get the first name, get the last name, get the email, get the phone number. And then we can come up with a sales logical argument, which is a campaign to talk to them, to schedule an appointment, to talk about how we're going to collaborate. If I see you at a future event and we're live, or you text in the future, and I talk about POI, I want you to be one of the ones that raise your hand and say, I work with at least 20 to 25 POIs every single month, Shay, in addition to all the other activities I have, because you must have multiple lead generation strategies. I'm going to share my 10 best ideas in a moment. But Karen Cherry, you're very fortunate, couldn't make it. Her internet is down. And you're very fortunate, Dr. Cazette White, her computer crashed. So you have WA, substitute teacher, joking, Shay Brown filling in, but I'm giving you some ideas for your business. So let's work on business growth. They'll be here another night, but let's focus on business growth right now. Let's focus on POIs. I'm giving my 10 best ideas right now. But if you're out there right now saying, Shay, I get it. Shay, I get it. Shay, I'm with you. Shay, I'm feeling you. And you made a point earlier that was so important, which was the 30-day rule. And that really resonated with me. When you mentioned that revenue drought, that 99% of sales slumps, that means my revenue is not growing. That means I'm having some high highs and some low lows. That means I'm not generating the money I want. Is directly linked to a failure to prospect, whether it's scheduled, block time, or however, it doesn't really matter. Then I know I need to pay attention. I know earlier you talked about the 30-day rule, and the 30-day rule really resonated with me, Shay, because you said the 30-day rule is the prospecting that you do in a 30-day period. That means right now, mark your calendars 30 days from now. Will pay off over the next 90 days. And maybe you just got a late start. Maybe it just didn't work out for you. That's okay. But you're here this morning, this evening, this night, and you showed up for one reason only. And that's because it's time for you to build your business. And the promise that I'll make to you is that when you master prospecting, you will help more people, you will have more meaning in the world, and you will earn more money. Now, for some of you, that's exactly why you got in business. That's why you're here right now. That's what you're looking to do. That's what it really, really means for where you are. So I want to give you my 10 best ideas. And I want you to jot these down in your notes. I don't want you to miss it. Some of you are going to make it the whole session, and some of you aren't. I get it. Some of you just want the notes right now, and I get it. Some of you just want the 25 best POIs because you work with multiple POIs. You don't work with just one. You work with multiple. Here's what I'm going to do. For the folks to take action, because I believe the universe rewards people who take action differently than those that don't. So for those of you, when you open up your phone browser right now, you go to your text message section right now and you text the word sales makeover. That's the key word. That's what I got to see. Even if you've done it before, do it tonight. Text the word sales makeover. Include your first name. I'm requiring that. You got to text it to a number. The number's up there, right? The number's 202-270-1662. And then go ahead right now. Do it now. Do it when? Now. When's the best time to take action? Well, now. So text sales makeover 202-270. That's the number, 1662. Text your first name so I know who you are, your last name, your best contact, and email. Let me send you the notes. Let me have a one-on-one session. I'm going to do it for the first 25 people. After that, you'll meet with one of my revenue coaches. But let me be one of the people to sit down with you to talk about how you're going to attract these qualified people for your industry, because it's probably customized, and then let you have an overflow of leads coming in. So we're going to have a revenue momentum session. No checkbook needed, no cash app needed, no Zelle payment needed. You just have to have a heart to serve and a heart to give and be ready to make a bigger difference in the world. If that's you, go ahead and text 202-270-1662. I'm looking forward to getting your notes. I'm looking forward to connecting with you. So let's go now, as we talked about that, let's go now into the 10 best ideas, because I'm excited. And I'm excited because of the one philosophy, the core philosophy that I have, and that is your pipeline is your lifeline. Let me say that a little differently. Your pipeline is your lifeline. So I'm going to talk about filling your pipeline with good qualified prospects, and your follow-up calls, your marketing, your social media should be focused on gathering more information on your prospect and moving them through your sales pipeline. 80% of prospecting is qualifying prospects. That's 80%. You need to find out when their buying window is open. Personally, I think you should be careful on how you look at this, because some of you look at things differently. I get it. But the prospecting that you do today over the next 30 days will be filling that pipeline up, which truly is your lifeline. And I want you to jot that down. If you didn't write down any other idea, I want you to jot that one idea now down, because when you have that, I want it to be top of mind to you. And I want lead generation to be one of the key systems that you focus on in your business. I believe that my job every day, my number one job when I wake up as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, my number one job every single day is to find someone with a problem. And then my next job every single day is to talk to those people about how I solve a problem. And if you're not waking up doing that, then you don't have a system in place. You can buy the Facebook ads. That's one system, but that's not the only system. I want you to have multiple lead generation systems. Let me break something down for him. Can I break something down for him? I love doing that. Let me see. Is this going to fit? Is this not going to fit? I don't know. Okay. So let's talk about the formula that has worked over the years and has helped me and my most successful clients. It's called the 4S formula. Now, this is MULA. This is the most important formula that I teach. It's helped me sustain the business and our clients over the years. If you know it, that's fine. It's S plus S plus S equals S. Shay, break that thing down for me. Give me the formula, Shay, and stop playing around. Okay, I'll do that. Systems. I love formulas because you can follow. This is our signature methodology. It's our signature success piece. Systems plus strategy, STRATEGY. I'm typing this real time. Plus strategy plus sales equals, do you know what it is? You know what it is? Right below. Equals what? Successful CEO. And a successful CEO has one belief. And that belief is systems beat goals every time. Now, here's what I want you to jot down in your notes. And I just want to give this to you in the time that I have. And then I got to get back to showing them those ideas, right? Which I'm going to do. Systems. Systems are very important. We're talking about lead generation systems because systems are duplicatable. This is my belief. It's what I teach is at the core of being a happy entrepreneur, which leads to being a successful CEO. Systems are duplicatable. Systems are repeatable. Systems are transferable to other people so they can do the work and you are not there. McDonald's had a system. When they first started, it was hamburgers and French fries, nothing big, and Coca-Cola. And then we had the one and only, the fabulous one himself, a cool guy himself, Ray Kroc. Ray Kroc came and said, I have a system for how this can work across this globe. Started here in the United States. So he implemented probably one of the baddest systems of that early generation. And it transformed a whole industry. And then you think about doing my generation, who had really a system. And the one that comes to mind is Uber. Uber would be another taxi cab service if it didn't have a system. It has an app that runs the system that says, hey, this is where I want to go. Connect me to a driver that's hanging out there trying to get paid. Bring them to me. Tell me who they are. And then take me on the map on where we're going. Take all the money in my bank account so there's no cash. And it changed the entire industry. So my question is, what's your number one lead generation system? Now, systems plus a strategy. I'm going back to your pipeline is your lifeline. A strategy is how you implement the system. And so I believe in the evergreen revenue model. It's one of our signature methodologies. And we teach the evergreen prospecting, the evergreen sales sequence, but I'll talk about that another time. The strategy is how you implement it. Just know you want the evergreen revenue model. Plus sales. And sales really gives you the resources, that's revenue. So sales provides the revenue you need in order to purchase the resources to execute the vision for the people you were called to serve. That equals a successful CEO. And the question always comes up in about 30 seconds is, Shay, what in the LL Cool J is a successful CEO? What's the definition? A successful CEO. Let's tell them. A successful CEO has more cash flow. More cash flow, higher profits, and freedom to do what they want to do. So a successful CEO has more cash flow, has more profits, and has the freedom to spend time with their loved ones or do what they want to do with their time. That is a successful CEO. So I could be a happy entrepreneur, which is the brand. I'm cool with that, Trevor. I'm cool with that. I don't know if y'all can see it. Let me see. Can they see it? Somebody said I can't read. They can't read because they can't see it. They got all them banners up there. Oh, there we go. That's why you couldn't see it. I'm cool with the happy entrepreneur, but you can be a happy entrepreneur and you can be broke. You can be a happy entrepreneur and you ain't bringing in no money. You can be a happy entrepreneur and have to work for someone else. But that's not why you became an entrepreneur. And I'm happy doing that. But where my transition came is when I became a successful CEO running a business enterprise. And I want you to think about that for a moment. Systems plus strategy plus sales equals a successful CEO. And a successful CEO has more cash flow, higher profits, and the freedom to do the things they want to do. If that's you, as you're listening right now, if you're feeling what I'm saying, if you're hearing what I'm saying, if you're watching what I'm saying, look right below the video right now. Look right below the video and write these words. I am a successful CEO. Hashtag systems beat goals every time. Just no, seriously. If that's you, I'm gonna get back to the fancy stuff. Don't worry, we haven't gone anywhere. We're gonna get back to that. But look below the video because I'm gonna go rapid fire through these 20 top ideas. But you look below the video right now and you write these words. I am. Hey, what's up, Nikki? Hey, what's going on, Mary? I knew he was in the house. Dr. Renell, thanks for joining. Toy Parker, it's always a pleasure. For those folks that are tuning in, by the way, Karen, Cherry, well, her internet went down. She was so disappointed. She was all dressed up and ready to go. And I feel so bad. She's probably watching right now. Well, she can't be watching because her internet was down unless she's on her 4G service, which was a little slower. And Cosette White, her computer crashed. We've never had that happen ever. This is the 5th season of the Happy Entrepreneur Show, but it happened. So you here with me growing your business for a few minutes. This is so much fun. This is good. This is a ching conversation, but they will be back. But you go and look right below the video and put, I am a successful CEO. And as you're out there right now, you're thinking, yeah, it's time for me, Shay, to step my game up. It's time for me to ramp my game up. I need lead generation systems. I need appointment setting systems. Shay, I need to have closing systems. Shay, I need to have marketing systems. If that's you, just text the word sales makeover to 202-270-1662. No credit card needed, no check needed. Get the notes, get the client attraction model, which is the POI strategy. If you missed that, I can't wait to have that conversation with you so we can generate 25 POIs in your strategy and share one idea that you can make that is duplicatable. Now, if someone writes, I am a successful CEO, hashtag systems beat goals every time, hit the like button. Hit the heart button. Acknowledge them for the champion that they are. Acknowledge them for the winner that they are. Acknowledge them for stepping up and doing something that they didn't have to do, but they did it anyway. Because we're all in this together. There's no one of us. We're all in this together. Nicole Brown Hurston, I believe you. I am a successful CEO. What's up, Desiree Falk? Thanks for joining. So the first idea I gave, well, I don't know, it's idea number 7 by now, who knows, was your pipeline is your lifeline. Very, very important, the first starting point. The second idea I want to share is the telephone is really your power tool. And making phone calls gives you an edge because most people reach out via email. And that's fine. They reach out on social media. That's cool. Email, social media, there's still good ways to go and they're the best ways. But there's nothing like a human voice. There's nothing like a touch. There's nothing like them being able to hear your voice message, especially when you're prospecting. And then today, we're doing something called rehumanizing your business. Now, this is a book. I know it's always a book, but rehumanizing your business is really a great concept. And it's how do I go back to being a human connecting with someone on the other side? And the fastest, easy way to do that is either be there in person or, hear me, or by video, a personal video, very personal video, just a little message. People are sending them now, sometime on Facebook as voice messages, but a video is way more personable. And then the other way is the phone. So as Jason Murray put, I am a successful CEO, and LaToya Miller put, I am a successful CEO, and Nadija Owens Rabbit put, I am a successful CEO, and Leroy put, I am a successful CEO. As they're all writing that right now, we're sharing the techniques, we're sharing the ideas that's going to help you in your business right now. But I've got to talk about the elephant in the room, and one of them is vulnerability and rejection. Big idea number 3, probably 12 by now. And I want to talk about this quickly because we got to give them a reason to listen to you. And it's called the 3 B's. And the 3 B's got to be front of mind to you. Be brief, be bright, be gone. Put that in your notes. Be brief, be bright, be gone. You could be selling free money, but if you show up on the sales call, if you show up through a video, if you show up on a webinar, you show up on your Facebook business page live, and you wait around too long, prospects are busy and they have short attention spans. And this is pretty basic, but it's so true. And sometimes I see this happening. So I like to remind people of the 3 B's when you're prospecting, even when you're sending an email, what to focus on. Be brief, be bright, and be gone. And you might be thinking, Shay, I get that. I understand. But I don't want you to get it intellectually. Not just intellectually. I want it to become a habit. One of my beliefs is, and jot this down in your notes, people form habits and habits form futures. Someone jot that down in your notes. People form habits and habits form futures. So when I can look at your predominant habits, I can predict your future. I talked about the 30-day rule a little early on, and some of you didn't get excited about that. Some of you didn't shout about that. But the 30-day rule says the activities that you do today will produce the results that you're looking for over the next 90 days. And so the question I keep asking is, what systems do you have in place? Now, I'm going to share some language patterns because I believe that your words will make you rich. You get better at what you say, when you say it, and how you say it. You will be able to prospect. You will be able to make a greater difference. I was working with someone recently, and we changed this language patterns up in their email. And because we did this, it created a major breakthrough for them in the responses. Woo. In the responses. Sorry, I sneezed. Woo, sorry. In the responses that they were getting. It really did. So let's show the big idea number 4 to you. And the big idea number 4 is using a bridge in the word because. People are more likely to comply with your request if you give them a reason. We ask your prospect to do something and we follow it with because and then a reason why it's going to help them. This is called the bridge. You're bridging what you're describing as a problem. You're bridging that problem back to them and telling them because of this, there is a brighter future. This is a neural linguistic sales technique. For those that were participating on the Sunday Business Edition, I just taught the hypnotic sales approach and I shared 10 plus techniques. But when it comes to prospecting, I wanted to share this one hypnotic sales approach. And it's not even an embedded command, but I wanted to share it because once you get this one idea, you're prospecting your emails, your text messages, your social media messages, your Facebook bot messages. All of a sudden, they get the response you're looking for. So earlier, I'll give you an example. Earlier, I put up here, and if I was doing a bridge, I said, some of you are struggling with generating more qualified leads. And some of you just need someone to give you a hand up. Because if you get in front of more qualified people like Audrey Hyman, what's up, Audrey Hyman, who travels all over the world. You've got to connect with Audrey, by the way. Audrey, who says, I am a successful CEO. When you get in front of more qualified people, I know you'll close more deals. And the biggest challenge you have is spending time with people who are unqualified. And that can be so freaking frustrating. And so I said earlier, one of the commitments I made, I said, look, text the word sales makeover. So when you text the word 202-270-1662 and you text the word sales makeover, when you do that, because you've taken action, then you have an opportunity to meet one-on-one and customize this for your industry, for where you are, and it doesn't cost you one penny. You got to have some skin in the game. You got to take action. I believe the universe rewards people who take action differently than those that don't. And we're going to focus on your lead generation system to bring in more qualified people. If you haven't done it, I'm going to encourage you right now to text the word sales makeover to that number, 202-270-1662. Follow the instructions. So make your first name, your last name, your email, so we at least know who you are. And because you've taken action, there is a lifetime benefit that you can be rewarded over the rest of your life. I believe at the core of what I teach, the backbone of any successful sales process, if all the stuff you know, all the training you've had around sales and marketing and business and automation, the one is an effective prospecting strategy that is tied directly to a system, because systems beat goals every single time. And I'm trying to drill this home because while you're doing this, you've got to use every method available. I've talked about video. I've talked about telephone. I'm talking about language patterns. I'm talking about an email. We've got to use every system available, because when we do that, our outcomes are better. So when you get better at what you say and how you say it, you'll be more powerful. You'll be more persuasive. You'll get in front of the right people, and the magic will happen all by itself. Now, I didn't come here today to share this. This wasn't the message that I want to share. I got to get back to the other big ideas. But as I'm going down this path, I said to myself, if I can give you one idea, and how many ideas do you need to change your life? One. How many ideas you need to change your life? One. One good idea implemented is better than 1,000 ideas you know right now. So I said, what if I gave my idea? Like for some of you, I said, look, just set aside time to prospect. You don't need no software. There ain't no Facebook ads needed here, baby. You don't even need a camera. You don't even need an electronic app. All I'm going to ask you to do is look at your schedule. I was working with a client, and they're in one of our clubs that we offer, and we are their virtual sales team. And I'm proud to be her virtual sales team. I really am. And part of her virtual sales team, I talked about that while she has a lot of ideas and a lot of things she wants to do, I said, you've got to set aside time just for you to prospect. The team can do what it can do, but you've got to set aside some time as well. Shay, I don't have enough time in my schedule. I said, I teach leads represent hope. No leads, no hope. You've given me this aggressive revenue target. You told me what you want to do. You shared your mission, your goals, and your objectives, which are all tied to resources, which are all tied to revenue. And yet the number one way to generate more revenue in your business is through prospecting, and you don't have time to set aside 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. It's not possible. There's 1,440 minutes in every day, and you're telling me there's no time blocked on the calendar for prospecting. I said, look, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to do this. You can just follow the exact same strategy. And if you do that, my promise to you is that the magic will happen by itself. I'm not even asking you to jump up and down. I'm just asking you to focus on that. It's only been 40 days. The person hasn't taken my advice on it. We're working with the same part that she has right now. And the reason we're able to do that is that she started with a CRM. Some of you don't have Entreport. Some of you have not been running and having people opt in, so you have something we can work with. But I'm thinking, while I'm working with this folks, what about the people who don't know you exist, that don't know you're on the planet? We're trying to convince these people, which is fine. That's a strategy. But why can't we do both? Why can't we have multiple lead generation systems? Jot this down. This is idea number 5. Don't miss this idea. Why can't we use your CRM like a pro? Stay organized. This is critical to your follow-up as you bring in new people. There are a lot of options out there, and there are a few good options that are free, like HubSpot is free. I like Agile CRM, Infusionsoft. But the best CRM on the market, you have to say, Shay, what's the best CRM on the market? The CRM you're going to use. Jot that down in your notes. The best CRM on the market is the CRM I'm going to use. For those folks who text the word sales makeover, don't worry. I'm going to recommend a CRM system to you. It's under, I think, $8. It's the number one, I believe, CRM out there. It's going to work for you in your sales. It works well with your other high-powered ones. But for some of you, you really need to know what's in the pipeline. You need to know what the prospect's location is. You need to know exactly what stage you're in. You need to know how much revenue, when you're forecasting, you're bringing that in. You need to get that organized. And that's what the sales makeover is going to do for some of you. And I get it. And that's important. But big idea number 6 as we move on is you got to do social selling. Now, I'm not even going to tell you what it's all about, okay? It's obvious. But if you want to get good at using social media to make sales, then we're going to have to get into Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, LinkedIn. I don't care which one, but we've got to dominate. We've got to own one of those platforms. I want you to be on all the platforms. And why? Because you need to be everywhere they are. Back in the day when you were generating leads, back in the day when you were doing your marketing, you spent all your dollars to bring them to this sales page. You spent all your dollars to bring them to this check-in. That's all changed now. Now we go where they are. Whatever platform they're on, we're on. But I want you to focus on owning one of the platforms. Like when it comes to lead generation, you own that platform. You're not playing around. This is not a time to play. Playtime is over. This is the real deal, Holyfield, and you're stepping into it. and you're all in. If you're all in, look right below the video, and put today is my January 1st. I'm all in. Just look right below the video and put today is my January 1st. I'm all in. Because you have a gift. You got what it takes. We're going to take a quick, less than 2-minute break. I'm going to drink some water here. Letitia Nicole is going to talk about you have a gift. She's in Raleigh, North Carolina. Just use it. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hey, how y'all doing? I'm glad to see you here. What a surprise, what a surprise. Guess what, you guys? My name is Letitia Nicole Beatty, and I am the CEO founder of Speak Life Enterprise, where I teach entrepreneurs like yourself how to speak powerful words into the atmosphere to shape your business. And today is my January the 1st. But before I start my thought of the week, I have to give kudos and props and a round of applause and a happy belated birthday to who else? None other than Shay Brown, the CEO founders of this happy entrepreneur group. Hey, Shay, thank you so much for allowing me to speak life. Now, to my thought of the week. You guys, listen to me. My thought of the week this week is that you have been anointed with a gift. Now, whatever you've been anointed with, it is up to you to bless the universe with your gift. And how do you bless the universe with your gift? By being a present. That means showing up. That means your presence is needed in this earth. Your presence, that's the gift. So you make sure that you show up in that gift. Now, I have a story. You know, I have a little story. I always have a little story. Let me tell you something. People used to come to me all the time for advice, all the time, asking me for advice, and I would give it to them. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to stop getting advice. That's getting on my nerve. Oh, my God. And then people was like, wait a minute. Where are you? Where is my friend? Where is the person that's giving advice? God anointed me to be a life coach, to be a mentor, to be a minister. God anointed me. He said your gift should make room for you. So if you're not showing up in your gift, that means you're not giving the world a present. That means that you are not earning your money. He said you have the power to get wealth. And if you're not showing up in your gift by being a present to somebody else, you better get it together. So until next time, why don't you give your gift of just by being a present into somebody's life this Christmas, this holiday, this year, today. All right? My name is Letitia Nicole, and I speak life so that we all may have life more abundantly. But until next time, be a gift and give somebody that present. Bye.
Welcome back to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue-focused late-night show in the country, where we're on a mission to empower, to inspire, and to provide you with the resources necessary to execute that vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And we're here to talk about, well, a very important topic, actually, how to attract unlimited paying clients. You're going to learn the underground secrets to keeping your pipeline full. We're filling in for the one and only Karen Cherry, whose internet went jing down, and Dr. Cazette M. White, whose computer crashed, but that's okay. You're at the right place at the right time, hearing the right message. And we start off with, I believe, one of the best beliefs that exists on the planet is that nothing happens until something moves. That's the law of the universe. But I like the law of business. And the law of business says nothing happens until someone sells something. Because the #1 reason most folks go out of business is due to what? A lack of sales. That's the #1 reason people go out of business. Just a quick recap. We talked about the 3 laws of prospecting. Law #1 was the universal law of need, that when you wait too long and you're in a needy state, then that comes across. It will repel folks. So we're always going to be working hard not to need any new prospect, but to have that part of our system that we run on a daily basis. Then we talked about the 30-day rule. I love 30-day rule. It's one of my favorite. And the 30-day rule says what prospecting you do, Linda Powell, over the next 30 days will really manifest itself over the next 90 days. So I always ask my clients to look at their calendar and tell me their number one lead generation ideas. We talk about the law of replacement, that you got to replace that which will naturally leave out, or no matter how hard you prospect, everyone doesn't move from the warm bucket to the hot button, or the hot bucket to a contract, or the hot bucket to a customer. So we've got to understand that some will just fall out. And if I got a list of 25 and they fall out, then I've got to be replacing that. And that's the law of replacement. And some people don't look at that. Even when they purchase, I've got to keep feeling that. And so we move from that to the 10 best ideas I've ever learned. One idea was your pipeline is your lifeline. You want to look at the success that's going to happen for you over the next 90 days. Look at your pipeline. Talked about the telephone and the power of using that. We talked about making sure you be brief and be gone. Be brief, be bright, be gone. We talked about using a bridge and the word because. So because you are here and you're ready to really generate more qualified leads and you're focused on that as one of your systems in your business, because of that, implementing one idea has a lifetime value, because once you do something one time, you can do it over and over and over again. We talked about how to use your CRM like a pro, which is very important. And then we talked about you got to be where they are. Be where they are. And now I want to go into number 7. We're coming down the home stretch. I only said 10, but number 7 is know your numbers. Know your numbers. You want a track to run on. I just did an interview with one of my coaches, and Eric asked me the question, why was I consistent? And I made a decision 15 years ago. I told my coach, and every coach I work with, I said, look, I'm going to be your number one student. Like, I set the intention. Because you get what you focus on. Someone jot that down in your notes. You get what you focus on. If you're not focused on generating prospects, you're not going to get qualified prospects. So I made the intention that I was going to be his number one coach. Not because I thought I was better than everyone else, because I just knew I was going to work hard. And I knew I was going to be consistent. I'm going to do exactly what he told me to do. But there was one area, he said, but Shay, what was one of the principles? What was something that I taught that made you hold the course? And this is simple. This might not be what you need, by the way. So you might want to wait till number 8. I get it. But when you get this one idea, and I want you to imagine what it would be like if you know your numbers and you adjust throughout the day based on that, what that would be like. And the one idea was know your numbers. But then I took that concept, and you know how we are. We got to do the remix version. I'm part of the Puff Daddy generation, so we do remix versions. And I said, we got to take know your numbers, and we're going to change that to mean a track to run on. And a track to run on means, what do I need to do in order to be successful? So for example, I've run 5 marathons and I love running, and I can't sprint a marathon. Even in my best day, I could never sprint a marathon. Very few people can do that. But I thought I could finish 26.2 miles. And the reason for that is that I didn't have to do 26.2 miles in one day. That was the benefit of that. But if I did 3 miles one day, and then 3 miles the next day, and then ran 4 miles the next day, and I followed this system. I believe in systems beat goals every time. I'm gonna keep saying that. Systems beat goals every single time. I had a system, but I had a track to run on. And so I just followed the schedule. And it builds up over 18 weeks. At the end of 18 weeks, you run 26.2 miles, just like you walk around the block. Well, it's not that easy. But you get the point. You get the point. And so I want you to ask yourself, do you really know your numbers? And if you do know the numbers, let me give you the advanced version, because some of you are advanced. So we're going to take it to an advanced class, and then we'll come right back down. The advanced version is what gets measured gets managed. That's a Shayism. You can jot that down. Someone look right below the video and write that down right now. What gets measured gets managed. So if you can measure what you're doing, then you can manage the amount of effort. You can manage the progress. You can manage what you expect. What gets measured gets managed. And if that's you, then that puts you in a really good place right now, like exactly where you are. So know your numbers. Idea number 8, as we come down the home stretch, idea number 8 is gatekeepers and access. So if you had to sum it up, we want to make friends. And I love social media because we get to bypass the gatekeeper, to be honest with you. But we got to make friends. these are the people that have to let you go. The gatekeeper's job, I tell people, I don't even get upset at the gatekeepers. The gatekeeper only has 2 jobs. The number one job of the gatekeeper is to make sure that the wrong person doesn't get through to the big boss. And that's the number one job of the gatekeeper. The second job of the gatekeeper is to make sure the right person does get through to the big boss. So we got to position ourselves in a place that we come across as the right place, the right person. If you reach out to your prospects through Facebook or another social media platform, you're going to bypass the gatekeeper in many cases because there usually isn't one. Now, if you're going after someone at a high level, like the CEO, that's a different story. Someone might be managing their social media for them. But for most of them, you're not doing that. And so for most, you can get there right away. Okay, let's go to idea number 9, the 3 P's that are probably holding you back right now. And I like the 3 P's because when you think about perfectionism, procrastination, and paralysis from analysis, someone jot that down in your notes. That's very important. Perfectionism, procrastination, and paralysis of the analysis, or paralysis from the analysis. And these are the 3 P's that can really hold you back. Procrastination is one of my weaknesses, and maybe it's yours as well. And I always say that I will get to it tomorrow. I will write my workbook report tomorrow. I will make 60 phone calls tomorrow. I will follow with the client tomorrow. And sometimes when there is a lapse or a failure in one of the systems that I'm implementing, typically it's because I didn't have the discipline to follow through and do the things that I knew I should do. Now, it might be alone. That might not be you. But in many cases, that's the challenge right there. So that really boils down to that procrastination. And as you think about social prospecting, and as you think about changing the type of people you're working with, I talked to someone, they said, Shay, I just need to change the type of people that are coming into my database. What's holding you back? Well, I'm going to get to it as soon as I get my new website. What's holding you back? I'm going to get to it as soon as I have a free gift to give away. What's holding you back? I'm going to get to it as soon as I finish talking about what I'm going to do for this 5-part video series. At the end of the day, that's just one piece, procrastination. The second biggest P is really, and I want you to really pay attention to this one, because this right here is very important. It's perfectionism. Now, this is another one of my co-weaknesses. We all have weaknesses. The drive to have everything just perfect can keep you from doing the tasks necessary to accomplish your goal. The great irony of perfectionism is that while it's characterized by an intense drive to succeed, it can be the very thing that holds us back. So here's something I share with my clients that I'll share with you that's really helped me out. And you might want to jot this down in your notes, but there's a time for perfection and there's a time for completion. There's a time for perfection and there's a time for completion. So if someone's doing my taxes, I expect it to be perfect. Who doesn't, right? But then there's a time for completion when I just got to get it done. So I remember when I was setting up the new studio and we were changing the colors on the wall. This is the wall behind me, and it had to be this color, and it had to be just perfect, and the lighting had to bounce off in a certain way. And if I waited for that, it would never happen. At one point, we had it green, and I was like, oh my gosh. But you know what? I couldn't wait for it to be perfect. And your prospecting might be the same way. This is not a time we think about it. And certainly paralysis of analysis. Like, what if this? What if I do this? What if I do that? What if I do this? Many times when you do that, it holds you back. So what's the cure, Shay? The cure is to get focused on the first phone call. The cure is focus on the first email. The cure is to get focused on the next and the next and the next. One of the things that I love is the philosophy that do first things first, second things never. Let me say that again. It's going to hit you a different way. You're not going to shout, but I'm telling you, this was taught to me. I'm passing it to you. And it's what I use. Do first things first, do second things never. So you think about it. How do you get started? Well, you make the first call. Then you make the second call. Then you make the third call. You send the first email. You make the second email. And many of you can do that right now. I mean, this is very possible. Idea number 10 is probably the best idea I've ever come across. It's one of my favorite. And the idea number 10 is, at the end of the day, when I'm all pooped out, I'm ready to relax. I'm ready to kick back. just do one more call. Focus on one more task. That one more call, that one more task, that one more email, that one more note can be the biggest difference between being successful and unsuccessful. And the most value that I get when I share how to prospect is do one more prospecting call. And there's a lot of good stuff you can do. I mean, I've shared a lot of good stuff, but for some of you, just do one more prospecting call, send off one more email, send off another LinkedIn connection, just one more. And that's going to add up because you do small things well and you will get big results. That's my promise to you. Now, for those folks that are tuned out there and say, Shay, I need an executive summary of this. I need to do something in a way that's going to work for me. Text the word sales makeover. Just text the word sales makeover right now. We'll send you the notes. We'll send you the POI strategy, the client attraction model, and a one-on-one customized revenue momentum session. It doesn't cost you anything. So if you didn't do it earlier, do it now. Like take your mobile phone out, text sales makeover. It's time for you to grow your business. This is your year. This is your time, and you're ready to work with only qualified people who are attracted to your business. Text the word sales makeover to 202-270-1662. Include your first name, include your last name, include your best contact number. And I'm looking forward to having that direct conversation with you. When we come back, I'm going to close it out. And I want to close out very, very strong. So I'm going to share one last idea and we're done. But first, I'm going to share this message with you because for some of you, we are the sales team you've been looking for. We'll be back in just a moment. Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. And if you're like a number of my clients right now, where you are sick and tired of talking to unqualified people who don't want to do business with you, or you're tired of tracking down people and trying to convince them and persuade them to do business with you, and you're just wasting your time, or you're just totally frustrated, and it's time for you to increase your sales, then we are the sales team that you've been looking for. You see, the number one challenge facing entrepreneurs today is either lost leads. That means they met someone opted on their page, someone signed up on their webinar, someone said they were interested, and no one could follow up with them, no one could track them down, and you had to do it all yourself. Or you spend a lot of time talking to someone, you spend a lot of time sending them information, only to find out they were unqualified. You're like, I'm sick of talking to unqualified people. So if you don't want to sell, or you hate to sell because you want to do something else with your time, something else with your labor, like spend it with those that you love the most, or doing something entirely different, then I want you to pay close attention. I want you to text this number because we're going to partner with you in two ways. First, we're going to look at doing a complete sales makeover for you. Okay, that's number one. And then number two, we're going to set all the qualified appointments you need without your labor so you can make sure things get done. And or we're going to have a dedicated sales team to go out and actually make the sale, get the credit card, get the contract, and bring it out. We are the sales team that you've been looking for. So it's just time for you to do a sales makeover. It's time for you to look at your whole sales process and have a structure, a system, a sequence so you can be scalable and you can really generate those sales. Here's what I want you to do for your sales makeover. Text the word makeover. Do it right now. Open up your phone right now. Text the word makeover, one word, makeover, to 202-999-3515. Let me get that to you again. Text the word makeover so you can look at your business to 202-999-3515 and just follow the instructions. So all you gotta do is follow the instructions and let's make over your business. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone, and we're gonna make some good things happen. We connect again next time. God bless, and I'll see you on the other side. Well, we're back talking about really how to attract unlimited clients, talking about how to make sure you have prospects. You understand that leads represent hope, and no leads, no hope. No leads, no hope. I want to close with just this one phrase. It's one of my beliefs, and that is the backbone of any successful sales process is an effective prospecting strategy. I want you to do a review of where you are right now, and I want you to think, what is your number one lead generation strategy? And then I want you to implement one of the strategies that I talked about. That's called baseline strategy. Your baseline is everything you're doing today to produce the results you produce in a day on a monthly basis. And so let's say you're averaging, 20 new prospects a month. Then your baseline is everything you're doing today to produce 20 prospects a month. Here's what the baseline strategy says. Add one new idea or implement a new strategy, and thus you produce a greater result than 20 prospects. Now, part of the purpose of your subconscious mind is really to answer whatever question you ask it. So I want you to ask yourself right now, what's one thing, just one thing you can do to raise your prospecting baseline? And what would that mean in terms of revenue? For some of you, it's an extra $5,000 a month. For some of you, it's extra $10,000 a month. For some of you, it's extra $20,000 or more because you have a team or you brought us on as your virtual sales team. They're waiting to get going for you, by the way. They've already been trained to do your prospecting, to schedule your appointments, to qualify folks, and even to enroll folks and close the deal and get the check, the credit card, and the contract. But that's not the conversation right now. The conversation is, what are you going to do? As you're listening right now, I want you to know that you're amazing. I want you to know you're incredible. I want you to know you have greatness inside you. I want you to know for you, the best is still yet to come. The best is still yet to come. Why? Because today is your January 1st. Doesn't that feel good? You get a new start. You get a rebirth. You get a do-over. You get to start where you are right now, and no one can hold you back but you. You don't have to wait for some arbitrarily date on the calendar. You made a decision that today is your January 1st. You're going to change your mindset around prospecting. Today is your January 1st. You're going to change your prospecting strategy. Today is your January 1st. You're going to implement systems, beat goals every single time. Today is your January 1st. You're telling yourself, I am a successful CEO. Systems plus strategy plus sales equals a successful CEO. The 4S formula that Shay has been using for himself and many of my clients. You've adopted that mindset because a successful CEO has more cash flow. A successful CEO has more profits, and a successful CEO has more freedom to do the things they want to do. And that's why we showed up. That's why we're here. That's why we have this show, to give you the resources you need to execute the vision for the people you were called to serve. So with that being said, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. First time that we had a guest that had two challenges, internet going down and the other one, the computer going down, but that's okay. We got to have this conversation, and it was divine. It was meant to be, and I believe we changed some lives. So thank you all. Hit the share button. Thank you all. Hit the watch party button. Thank you all for showing up. I appreciate you. I love you. And I want you to know the best is still yet to come. The best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. With that being said, my name, by the way, is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. And we're going to make some good things happen. We connect again next time. Look below the video and write those words. Today is my January 1st. Hit the heart button. Today is my January 1st. Hit the like button. Today is my January 1st. Tell someone that and believe it. I'll see you soon. God bless. Promise I made to my mom. I only did this message for one person, and that's my mom. This is for you, Mom. Love you. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Shay Brown.
Mic check, mic check.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Yes. Yeah.
And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win.
Thank you. God bless.